Good afternoon. This is Speak On It. I'm Malik. It's an opportunity, live opportunity for you to call in here and speak on the issues at hand. And you already know that during this period of time, we've been talking about the West Side Heroin Opioid Task Force. Tonight, I want to congratulate State Rep. LaShawn Ford for what he's been able to do. And I think that what you need to understand is this. You know, what happens is this, and I know some of y'all are going to get your little feathers out of shape, but I really don't care. What LaShawn Ford has been able to do is facilitate help. While so many of you politicians running around, slanging dope, peddling dope, LaShawn Ford, and I know some of you all helped him with this, have been working with the governor in order to get an executive order, a $4.1 million executive order to facilitate, to help those challenged with opioids through recovery and prevention. And those of you that don't seem to understand the difference between hope and dope, I don't know what to tell you. We need to stop electing y'all. But Ford is bringing hope, while so many other Negro representatives are peddling dope. What a shame. Brother, show us the piece with the governor signing that executive order. And just follow the script. Thank you, sir. And I'm thinking that what we need to be looking at is the governor with his pen on that piece of paper. And I'm beginning to
signs an executive order to battle the opioid epidemic. Eyewitness News is keeping you connected to the Capitol. The new initiative dedicates $4.1 million to expand addiction, recovery, and prevention services. Recent data shows Illinois saw its first decline in overdose deaths in 5 years. However, minority lagging behind.
The numbers are harrowing. In 2018, deaths among African American Illinoisans increased 9.1%. Deaths among Latinos increased 4.3%. We will not tolerate the racial disparities that come from institutional failures.
The state is setting aside another $500,000 to help collect and recover needles and syringes from the streets. The executive order also includes supervised consumption sites. That's where people with opioid addictions can get oversight from medical professionals.
Now, while we get ready for the other piece, let me just say this. That's major. But it appears that sometimes we have little challenges. So let's try to get to the other video. Just follow us here, because sometimes you need more information than a lot of words. Just pay attention.
Seeks to combat the national opioid epidemic. The Support for Patients and Communities Act includes provisions aimed at promoting research to find new, non-addictive pain management drugs. It also gives Medicaid patients expanded access to treatment for substance use disorders. The White House announced public-private partnerships with large companies like Google, CVS, and Walmart. Those measures include drug disposal programs, increased opioid education, and supporting people in addiction recovery. And this Saturday, October 27th, is National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day. It is an opportunity for people to safely dispose of unwanted or expired medication and prevent prescription drug abuse. There are 3 planned collection sites in Helena, the Helena Family YMCA, Shopko, and Walgreens on 11th Avenue. In Great Falls, the Montana Highway Patrol will host a collection site at its offices
Now, that
on the
information there, we can leave
800
y'all
block
that, 'cause
of
that's
14th
outdated.
Street.
Now, part of the things that I want you to understand is this here. And a little bit, and I'm going to say this. Now, y'all already know I got my own way. But I'm going to just say this here. Now, this Narcan piece we've been talking about, we have to deal with this because even as we were talking here, as the governor was we were trying to play that piece, in this studio here, there was interference with the energy. Now, I don't know what the energy is, but sometimes when you try to bring positive things into existence, you run into that type of negativity. And I'm just telling you, boy, we've been talking about this for, this is our second series on this. If you really need help with someone that has this challenge, where dope is killing hope, you should call Lucius. You should call Lucius at the West Side Heroin Opioid Task Force. His number is 773-378-4195. 773-378-4195. And for you new generation people, and I guess some of us senior citizens too, email westsidetaskforce@yahoo.com. westsidetaskforce@yahoo.com. Now, we're going to keep rolling through this, but before we do, because this technology is blowing me tonight, I'm telling you, we might just let the technology just keep going. So let me clean this up before we do. When I look at what's happened, not only in Illinois, but how black politicians have found it in their ignorant head to think that marijuana is just the good part of this thing. I understand the hemp part, but for any Negro to be suggesting marijuana be legal, and it is, and particularly in Chicago, but don't know black folks get to have no dispensaries, and because the taxes on it in Illinois are so high that the black market in the black community won't change at all. What a farce. What a joke. You let these people make billions of dollars for their people to sell dope, but you're going to still put black people in jail, and you fake that you done let them out of jail. Go to hell. You understand? Brother, show me what's finna happen with those edibles.
Every 8 minutes, someone in America dies from a drug overdose. Now, most of the time it's from an opioid like heroin or illicit fentanyl, but also opioids like oxycodone or hydrocodone, the ones prescribed by doctors. Take too much of any of these opioids and it can be deadly. That's because they all work the same way. They can dull pain and boost dopamine, giving some people a high, but it's easy to get hooked on them. Why? Well, for one, your body can build up a tolerance. The more you use, the larger dose you may need to get the same relief. Secondly, you can become dependent on them. In fact, your body releases natural opioids when you hurt yourself. But if you habitually use opioids, your body stops producing its own and relies on the drugs instead. If you try and stop then, the body goes through withdrawal. In fact, more Americans now die from opioids than from guns.
Now, while he's finding this, what you finna see next, it looked like it was made for Negroes. Crude oil. Did you really think that these cartels and these other so-called organized crime people was gonna let you take away their business? Listen at this particular video and think about what they have put in place. And I'm gonna say this to you, Lieutenant Governor, don't eat no more edibles. Don't eat no more, particularly if they black. Them little Gummy bears just might be what you will see. Yes, sir, brother. Come on with it.
Market marijuana coming across the border. The struggle even more challenging as Mexican cartels are now smuggling what's called crude oil.
Yeah, that is one of the strongest forms of marijuana that's out there, and in this case, it is proving to be deadly. Fox's Stephanie Bennett shows us just how fast that product is spreading.
So this would be distillate that we recovered, and you can
A dangerous form of marijuana is flooding across the Arizona border and quickly spreading across the U.S.
Seizures are up, our arrests are up, the dangers for our deputies is increased dramatically.
It's called crude oil, a highly potent, concentrated form of marijuana that's used for vaping or edibles. It's something sheriff's deputies are seeing more and more of.
So 25 gallons of crude, and we recovered about 10,000 carts total off of that one guy.
So in 2017, we had seized 16 pounds of crude oil. That number doubled in 18. Last year, it was over 230.
To make it, marijuana leaves are washed with dangerous chemicals like propane, which extract the high-inducing THC. It's then mixed with ethanol and distilled, ready for vaping.
Each one of these worth, if it's full, $12,000.
The vaping cartridges sell for about $50. They're not only sold on the black market, but on social media too. Detectives were able to track down a dealer near Phoenix right from his home operation.
We located him through advertising to his various clients through social media. He had his own warehouse where he had a large lab set up there.
As western states start legalizing marijuana, cartels switch production to this stronger, more addictive crude oil marijuana to keep business going.
Every organization that's involved in cultivating and smuggling marijuana is going to be adopting this just because it's a way to get rid of the marijuana that they have that's not as popular here, but also just because of the fact that it's more compact.
The Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, along with other statewide departments, are trying to get the upper hand.
So we have a health crisis, we have a crime crisis, and we have an epidemic.
The Sheriff's Office says they're trying to track down the exact shipping points from Mexico by working with federal officials at the Drug Enforcement Administration. In Phoenix, Stephanie Bennett, Fox 10 News.
Let me just say this. Once again, and I don't want to be redundant. See, it's a sadness because black folks supposed to know better. We do. We know what has happened to our communities. And that's why we're so blessed to have at least one politically intelligent, yeah, I said that, person. Now, I know LaShawn Ford down there, he don't know what I'm talking about. He don't know what I'm talking. He ain't got nothing to do with this. I'm grown. I'm elder. Say what I want to say. And if I want to praise LaShawn Ford, that's what I do. He need to be saluted. Because $4.1 million with this killer coming here, you better be glad, old boy down there, LaShawn Ford, getting some Narcan. Because, doggone it, if you ain't got some Narcan in a minute, if you ain't got some Narcan, you're going to be dead. But at least what LaShawn Ford has done, and thanks to the governor and those that helped, they have put some things in place where they will be providing resources. And yeah, I'm going to get clear on this. That number between the black and the Hispanic ain't acceptable. But where was the number for the white folk, huh? Huh? Because really the opioid money that Trump signed off, that wasn't for no heroin. That was for white folk. Heroin and fentanyl and black tar is for colored folk. You know that black tar is straight up for Negroes. Won't be no shame. They're going to have a big old black, ugly gorilla. And they're going to call it the gorilla dope. And all of you little white boys and girls are going to be running to swing on a tree because Tarzan is here. But thanks to you black politicians, thanks to y'all, now you done opened the door. And then when you talk about the Hispanics, yeah, you're right. They ain't killing their own like we killing us, but they killing us. And that's why they can buy up all of the property in the community. You need Narcan. And if you want some in your hand, you better call this man. Damn, boy, I sound like Reverend Jackson. Need some in your hand, call this man. Lou Sires, 773-378-4195, Westside Heroin Opioid Task Force. And if you're a senior citizen like me and know how to get to email, Westside Task Force at yahoo.com. We're going to say that again, but get you some Narcan. Now let's go on to this other one, brother. Let them get something else other than my mouth, because you can see I'm tweaking tonight.
And is behind bars tonight. The reason, openly smoking marijuana in the county courthouse. And he was in court on a separate marijuana charge. I'm Haley Wilgus.
And I'm Bob Mueller, and the suspect had a word for those inside the courtroom. News 2's Andy Cordan has the story.
Here at the Wilson County General Sessions Court, there's a lot of things you can't bring into court. No food, no drink, no shorts. The one thing it doesn't say, no marijuana. This is video from General Sessions Court on Monday. That's Spencer Boston at the podium. The 20-year-old is in court on a marijuana citation, while Judge Haywood Barry writes down some notes. Watch as the 20-year-old reaches into his coat pocket. He pulls out a joint and lights up. He then reportedly turns to the packed audience and says, "The people deserve better." The court erupts into laughter. Court bailiffs immediately take Spencer Boston into custody.
I've been in law enforcement for 20 years, and this is by far the most bizarre thing I've ever seen happen in a courtroom. He's a lot braver than I am, I'll tell you that. And but whenever you go in front of a judge, it don't matter which judge it is, there's a high level of respect in the courtroom that needs to be maintained, and he definitely disrespected the judge in the courtroom. So, there should be consequences.
According to the TBI, Spencer Boston has no prior arrest history before this incident in court.
It definitely sounded like it was pre-planned. I saw the video myself, and you could tell that he already had in his mind what he was going to do. And what he was going to say.
News of the Carthage man's arrest spread quickly. There's now a GoFundMe account that says Free Spencer. His bond is $1,500, but this action garnered him a contempt of court charge. That means he has to serve the full sentence that the judge mandated.
Debate over whether marijuana should be legal, whether it should not be, and the bottom line is here in Tennessee it's not legal. So we have an up duty to uphold the law, and that's what we're going to do.
Spencer Boston's currently in the Wilson County Jail. He's facing disorderly and simple possession charges, but it's the contempt of court that's going to keep him locked up for the next 10 days. In Wilson County, Andy Cordan, News 2.
Now, let me tell you something. And I ain't gonna try to deny it. Yeah, I'm sort of pissed, and I probably have something to do with that. What you just saw. What you just saw. Can you imagine this little boy here lit up in the joint? They allowed him to go in his pocket in court. Do you know what they would have done to a Negro?
What would you do? It's making you happy.
Why wasn't he in handcuffs? Why was he standing there? Well, that's Tennessee, I guess. He looked like he probably did some meth before he came to court. But just think about what happens. We talked about it last week. Meth has just ran all over marijuana down in Tennessee. Why? Because they too poor to buy marijuana. But this boy here wanted him to make a point, so he got in the courtroom, lit up a joint. And he ain't going to be punished for that. He going to be punished for dissing the judge and the court system. But had he been colored, they'd still be scraping up his brain out of the courtroom. That's the thing that got me on 100 tonight. Because as I look at this stuff and think about these ignorant black politicians that don't understand the way things have been done to their family members, and they going around here thinking it's great that they done said you can have some marijuana. I mean, that's cool. You drinking, that's cool. The church house and the dope house and the alcohol house right in the same building, that's cool. We know. But I never expected black folk to be advocating this. Hemp, yes. Medical marijuana, yes. Black crude, man, I'm telling you, you finna start chewing on some sweets that's gonna take you straight to Lucius. You wanna deal with Lucius. Like I told you, you need to call him. Call him at the West Side Heroin and Opioid Task Force. Lucius is the director over there. West Side Heroin and Opioid Task Force was created. It's shared by LaShawn Ford. Now, I congratulate and salute him again. That number over there, 773-378-4195. Email westsidetaskforce@yahoo.com. And now, I'm going to get to something else here. I'm going to say this here real quick. We had a tragedy And we're going to end the night with a salute. We ain't going to do the tribute. But we know that Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and other people went to the other side, to the afterlife. And there's a lot of feelings about that. But as I've looked at some of his material that they are showing on social media, we did a show at another venue, and he said that his motivation for everything on what you saw was vengeance. Because when he was a boy over there, wherever he was, but wasn't nobody speaking nothing but Italian. And when he would be around being the only little colored boy, he had to learn how to speak the language. And the only time he could really get even was on the court. And he made it clear. But I want you to understand that dying at 41, he hadn't begun to live yet. And I also want you to understand this here. This message, and yeah, I'm dragging it out because this message of how we're going to close tonight is what I want us to understand. When we saw the transition in our community, had you looked at a interview or a conversation between this young man and Shaq, you would have saw how it used to be in our community. He and Shaq sit there, and Shaq mentored him, embraced him, guided him, supported him, and he respected Shaq. But what happened with us, we got in this condition we're in because we stopped doing that. The middleman. See, me and Gator are the middlemen. You dig? What happened is some of them other imposters got in the way in their shadows, blocked out the light that would have kept it in balance. But what you see as you travel throughout the social media, you should pay attention. Because this brother here, many ways is like Tupac. He was speaking some serious wisdom. He loved family. Yeah, he tried to get caught up in, yeah, this little ugly creature with her little blonde, pale face called him a nigga. Yes, she did. But they do that all the time anyway. And what we do is we try to get around it. No, but you saw what they did with that little boy in court down there in Tennessee that came into the courtroom and lit up a joint in front of the judge. They didn't kill him. His bail is only $1,500. Can you imagine? It'll take $15,000 for a Negro with a joint. But look at what's happening, and you mad at some other things that's happening. But LaShawn Ford and the governor, and yes, President Trump have signed things into place. Well, LaShawn Ford ain't signed that, but the governor and the president has put in place money that will help our people to recovery and prevention. Now, brother, come on with this piece with Kobe. And then I'm going to walk out of here, and the congressman going to probably get a couple of minutes, but I ain't going to say nothing after Kobe. All right, brother, let's deal with this.
Hello, everyone. I'm so sorry I can't be with you tonight. However, I couldn't completely miss the chance to take a moment to share some thoughts with all of you. The lesson I cherish the most is how important it is to love what you do. If you love what you do and it's making you happy, all the hard work and perseverance will pay off. I once had a guidance counselor tell me that I shouldn't play basketball, that it would never amount to anything for me. His negativity towards me made me stronger. You can't stop people from trying to limit your dreams, but you can stop it from becoming a reality. Your dreams are up to you. I encourage you to always be curious, always seek out things you love, and always work hard once you find it. So with that, I'll let you carry on with your evening. Please know I'm thinking of you, supporting you, and encouraging you always. Peace.